We adopted Living by Chemistry right when the first edition came out. So at around 2013 is when Next Gen Science Standards were adopted in Illinois. As a member of the chemistry team, the teachers, including myself, were highly invested in trying to find a textbook that would replicate this paradigm shift that we were experiencing in science, where we wanted students to be able to be using the skills in order to learn the scientific and chemistry concepts. Living by Chemistry, when the first edition came out, was like no other textbook that we were able to find. For example, when we were looking at the lessons and trying to figure out what to do, right from the very first chapter within the first unit of alchemy, when we were able to see how students would actually conduct an experiment around the copper cycle lab in order for them to learn the law of conservation of mass by experiencing and actually seeing copper as it transformed from one solution to another substance and be able to visually see that right there set the whole year when it came to producing a foundation of the chemistry concepts that they need throughout the year. And also too, what a different way of learning about nomenclature than by using it from the very beginning. They identified patterns, they were able to make observations, understand then from there the organization of the periodic table and their properties and so forth. There are so many examples in the text that we looked at initially where we were able to see that this was not a traditional textbook. This was a textbook where the students were doing the work and taking the cognitive load in order to learn the chemistry concepts. And again, it's not like any other textbook that you can find that. When we initially adopted it, what was also so great is that we worked as a team in order to collect the materials and make this setup in order for them to do all of this hands-on activity. We've been using it for over almost 10 years now. And being able to keep using that, it's really easy to follow with that. Now that I am the chair, I'm able to see providing teachers in my department with a curriculum that's very foundational, that's spiraling, that's thematic, that already has storylines embedded within it. How my teachers are able to think about the instructional strategies for each of these lessons and make sure too that they are providing equitable learning environments. Living by Chemistry makes sure that things are culturally relevant. Students have experience with smelling. They have experience with wanting to know if something can change into gold. They have experience with toxins and the world around them. So these are all things that no matter the cultural background, ethnicity, gender, all of the students are able to start out at the very beginning in conversations and driving question boards and wanting to learn more about the concepts. And so it's highly engaging. Again, students are the ones doing the critical thinking in order to figure out an experiment just like scientists would. Another thing that I would add with that is just thinking about the smells unit. That whole unit is actually about the nature of science. Students from the very beginning are given data, they're given smells, they're given certain pieces of information. And from there, they need to figure out, what about the shape of the molecule? What about the polarity, the attraction? What about it is going to make sure that I smell this, but I can't smell water? Overall, the structures of everything is very easy to use. Having everything embedded within the 5E model is very easy for teachers to follow. And it's also highly engaging for the students. Again, there is no other curriculum out there like it. It's something that now that we're into the third edition, something that my team continues to use, and any new teacher stepping in, specifically like Angelica Stacy wanted it, is able to utilize the material and also to try to figure out how to instruct it to make it their own.